Today, we are lucky to have two people from the Ira Fulton Schools of Engineering. Specifically, we have Sammy Taddeo from the School of Manufacturing Systems and Networks, and we have Dr. Sean Jordan from the School of Integrated Engineering. And we're going to go ahead and get started with Sammy, and then after Sammy and Sean share all of this great info with you guys, I'll jump in with some My Path to ASU information, and then we will open it up for a Q&A. And yeah, that's it. So let's go ahead and I will turn it over to Sammy.
All right. Thank you so much, Kathy. And thank you all for joining us today. We're really excited to be able to showcase our newer schools and our new programs. As Kathy had mentioned, I am with the School of Manufacturing Systems and Networks. And my name is Sammy Taddeo, and I am the Academic Success Academic Success Advisor Senior with our school. So when your students are interested in transferring or connecting with an advisor, then that would be me for our specific programs. All right, so a little bit about our school. So these are the bachelor's, master's, and doctorate programs that we do offer. What I really wanted to highlight here, and what I always like to highlight to our students, our incoming either first-year students, transfer students, really anywhere in the funnel. But our program, so our manufacturing engineering program, as well as our robotics program, we have both a bachelor's, master's, and doctorate. What's really cool is specifically for our manufacturing engineering program, we are the only university in the US to have the trifecta of the bachelor's, master's, and doctorate. So it's a really cool opportunity for students, really to showcase the longevity of our program. So they can start their bachelor's with us, continue to master's and doctorate. It also showcases the different type of learning that our undergraduate students have the opportunity to see. They'll be able to learn from our master's students, our PhD students, our faculty advisors. So there's going to be a lot of different types of learning. And so that's always what I really like to showcase. Additionally, both of our bachelor's programs do have an accelerated program option. So for any of your students that may be interested in transferring bachelor's, but are interested in getting a master's program, our bachelor's are both accelerated friendly. Next slide. Awesome. All right. So this is going to be, so we're going to go in parts. So our new bachelor's in manufacturing program. So this is going to be the first one that we're going to talk about today. If you wanted to see the major map, I have the QR code up in the corner. But really what I want to do is go in parts. So the first part of our program is going to be the foundational part. So of course, there's the general studies, the mathematics, and the sciences. And ideally, most of these students that would be transferring from a community college will hopefully be taking some of these foundational core requirements while they're at community college. Can you do the next one as well, please? Thank you. Okay, so these are the base and manufacturing engineering courses that students will take. So there's those core classes. So they're going to be learning about materials, processes, and design. There's going to be specific classes on all of these, as well as smart manufacturing. What's really cool is in our manufacturing program is we do have a little bit of robotics embedded into it, not very much, but to the point where students do get to dabble in robotics, as well as you'll see on the reverse side, our robotics program has a little bit of manufacturing in it as well. And the last two, please. Awesome. So the last two, is technical electives. So what's really cool about technical electives is we want to give students the option to take courses that they are interested in. Yes, they're interested in manufacturing engineering for this specific program, but what are their career interests? Are they interested in smart manufacturing, non-destructive testing, additive manufacturing? So a lot of different areas that students may be interested in. So we have this technical elective component so students can kind of curate their degree and take the courses that they're interested in so that they can either move on to a higher education or that they can go into industry. Additionally, both of our programs have a culminating experience that's worth 6 credits. So in their final year, they'll take 2 separate classes and they have the industry capstone. And what's really cool about that is we have students working on actual industry problems and they are finding solutions for. So not only are our students going to get the hands-on experience by just being in some of these classes, because there are labs scattered all throughout both of our programs, but they're actually going to have an opportunity in their undergraduate program to work with industry. And that can be not as it may not be an option for all students at all universities, but luckily for ASU, we do have this embedded component. So it's usually a very attractive option for students looking into our programs. All right, so just a little bit more of the logistics. So the program overview a little bit more. So there's going to be that design, the development, talking about manufacturing products. Like I said, there's going to be that hands-on. So you're going to be finding the problem solving, but really finding those innovative solutions. They don't call ASU #1 in innovation for nothing. So we're having our students doing it. So not only are we doing it at the university level, but we want to encourage our students to have the same forward thinking mindset that our university has and our faculty have. So really finding those innovative solutions. As I mentioned, core topics, so the manufacturing processes, automation, so that's going to be the robotics, quality control, supply chain management. Our program does have an internship option, so that would be a technical elective. So an internship is not required, but we do encourage all of our students to seek internships, and I'll kind of talk about that in a couple of more slides. Next slide, please. All right, so now we're going to transition to our new robotics program, and if you just want to go through all of them, since it's going to be like the same formatting. So similarly to our manufacturing program, we have our robotics and autonomous systems program. So this is our at a glance. So you're going to see those foundational core requirements. Again, hopefully most of our students are completing those at community college. The core requirements will be engineering, design, and analysis, as well as robotics and embedded systems. So what's really cool about our specific program, this is a new robotics program. So it is fully launching this fall 2024 semester. So students that are coming for this fall that are enrolled in our robotics program, they are the new students in this specific program. And it is fully robotics. So ASU does offer other engineering, robotic concentration type of degrees, but this specific robotics degree, you will be taking robotics classes in your first semester all the way through term 8. And depending on where students are coming in, but they'll be taking courses specific to robotics in their first semester. Awesome. So again, so focus areas are going to be robotics, mechanical, electrical, computer, systems engineering. So what I really like to say with robotics is you're going to get a comprehensive overview of a lot of different areas of engineering, but you're going to see them in that robotics sense. So a lot of students may be interested in mechanical, but specifically that they're interested in mechanical is a better fit for robotics. So I always encourage any student that has mentioned mechanical, electrical, computer to still consider robotics as an option because it may be a better fit for them for what their career goals are. So the core courses, again, robotics fundamentals, so dynamics, control systems, and of course, artificial intelligence. AI is booming right now. There's so much interest in it. So students, again, at the undergraduate level will be able to have opportunities to kind of see how AI is influencing the industry or how it's going to make changes and how they can kind of be a part of that innovative kind of technology that's exploding. And again, this program does have an internship component. It's embedded into the program. It's not a required course. Again, it'll be in the technical electives section of the program requirements. Next slide. Awesome. So I just kind of want to graze through admission requirements. I'm sure you all are aware of our ASU transfer admission requirements. I just wanted to include it here as well. But really what I want to talk about is ways to prepare. And I want to focus in on the math component. So as you may have noticed from the previous slides, we are extremely heavy in math. Students will be taking math almost every semester, and it is Calc 1, Calc 2, Calc 3, differential equations, linear algebra. So students are going to be taking a lot of math. So our first semester does require students to have taken or to take Calculus 1. So I would encourage your students to take the math placement test if they haven't already taken these math requirements at the community college. The math placement test is a really great tool to kind of give students an idea of what math that they would be entering into ASU taking. So whether that be college algebra, whether that be pre-calculus or calculus, having students taking the math placement test early may give them an opportunity to either take an additional course at a community college before officially transferring to ASU so that they can go smoothly into our program. The way that the program works is Math 265, which is Calculus 1, may be a prerequisite for courses in Term 2, Term 3, so on and so forth. So we want to make sure that we're setting students up for success, allowing them their first term to enter into Calculus 1, which is Math 265. Another way to prepare is touring our campus and facilities. Our faculty are extremely engaged and are really willing to meet with our students as well, prospective, admitted, all of that. You'll see that across Fulton, you'll see that across ASU. But our faculty are extremely passionate and they are here and want to assist and help. And we have many students that say, hey, I want to visit your tours, your labs and see the facilities. And we will have our faculty, even our program chairs. So you may even see Dr. Redcar, our program chair for our robotics bachelor's program, walking around with prospective or admitted students, just showing them the different opportunities that we have. So definitely, if you have students interested, please have them reach out to us because we are more than willing to help. Additionally, as I'm sure you all know, we have the ASU transfer rep. So if a student is looking for specific transfer questions or need help with their application, they have a specific rep that they can reach out to. And of course, when they're admitted, they can come to me and I will take over and I will make sure that they're all set for their next coming semester. Awesome. So what do you want to make? I really like this slide because, and I always show students this slide because I want to show them the possibilities at the Polytechnic campus. So that is where both of our programs are located. I probably should have mentioned that to start. I apologize for that. So both of our programs are offered at the Polytechnic campus. And so when I'm talking to students, I want to showcase that Poly has presence, that we are out here. We have a lot of different facilities and capabilities here. You just have to come and seek them out. So these are just a couple of the areas on campus that students can go in and, just start using some of the tools. Of course, there may be training or other things necessary in order to get in there and, start using a bandsaw tool. I wouldn't go in there and do that without any training. So there may be some components to that, but students can come in. I always like to highlight our innovation hub, which is located in the technology center. So this is a place for students that they can come work on class projects or even personal projects. So whether they're working on a class project and they need to be able to use a woodworking tool in order to complete that project, then they have the resources here at ASU in order to complete that. There's nothing that our faculty will assign in terms of coursework that you wouldn't be able to use or have access to on the campus. So just keeping that in mind, that the resources that we offer are used by students. And again, we will, and the Innovation Hub specifically, there is a lovely staff there that can help you and assist you with all of those really expensive tools that you may not know how to use when first starting off. Awesome, next slide. All right, so talking about our Fulton Career Center, so this will go with Dr. Jordan's school as well. So given that we're both in Fulton, again, the previous slide, the resources and the centers would also be able to be used by all of Fulton as well as all of ASU. So these are just some of the resources. But talking about a career center, ASU has an ASU Career Center for all ASU students. But we at Fulton have a specific Fulton Career Center for just our Fulton engineering students. So both our programs and Dr. Jordan's programs. So what this Fulton Career Center, Sorry, just really quick, can you go back to that last slide? So really what I just wanted to highlight is they have specific on-campus virtual career events specifically for our school. So when you're going to career centers, visits, you know that those specific companies are here for our specific programs. So it's just a really great way, again, for students to have access and to get to learn more about industry. So I just wanted to include that here as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so engineering beyond the classroom. So of course, we're going to engage our students in the classroom. There's no doubt about that. But we also want students to get engaged outside of the classroom. And that can be tough. That can be tough for first-year students, but it really can be tough for transfer students, just given that they may be a non-traditional student. They may not have heard of the resources and just the different experiences that you can get, because typically it's advertised more to first-year students. So I wanted to make sure to highlight some of these areas. So again, the industry experiences, talking about the capstone and the internships, which I've highlighted previously. Like I had said, in that capstone, that last year of the program, you're going to have that industry experience. But we also have student-run engineering teams. And so they're going to be located at either the Tempe or the Poly campus. But any student that's interested in joining an engineering specific team or club, we do have these type of resources and these clubs here available. So it's really just, seeking it out, but as your advisor or just your school community will be able to kind of show you the different club options that students may be interested in. And additionally, the research experiences. So we do have independent studies that undergraduate students can participate in. So what that means is they're working with a faculty advisor on a specific research topic or just working on a project. So we want to encourage our students to approach faculty and start working on different ideas. So we, would encourage you to recommend that to your students, as well as we have a lot of different Fulton research initiatives like Fury, where students can, at the undergraduate level, work on a research initiative and then they will present it. So it's another cool, it's another opportunity to get research experience at the undergraduate level, but also working on presentation skills and getting some networking access. Awesome. So lastly, before I transition to Dr. Jordan, I wanted to highlight, so our new building for the School of Manufacturing Systems and Networks is currently under works. If you've been to the Polytechnic campus and you've seen near the water tower, you're going to see a big building that's making its way and adding floor by floor. We're really excited about it. It will hopefully be done. Well, it will be done. I'm putting good vibes out. It will be done next summer of 2025. So any students that are starting either this year or next year, they're going to have the opportunity to either see this building being built, or they will be, again, some of the first students to be in this building using some of our renowned labs and just the different opportunities and resources that we're going to have in this space. We're going to have a specific student learning space. So it's not just going to be for our school, but it's going to be for our students. And that's one of the strategies behind this, is we want this to be a place for students to come to kind of expand their learning and just kind of explore a lot of different opportunities. So definitely, if students are interested in either of our programs, or if they're interested in anything in Fulton, they can still shortly come and enjoy the new building. But definitely keep that in mind and kind of keep watching this building getting built. So this is my last slide, but thank you guys all for sticking with me. And if you have any questions, I will be here through the duration of the presentation. But now I will transition to Dr. Sean Jordan.
Thank you very much, Sammy. And there's a question in the chat. Are we answering questions now or offline in the chat, or?
Whatever works for you is fine. I think, Derek, that question specifically for Sammy, is that right?
I just had a question because a lot of the courses have similar titles to stuff that are in other engineering programs. And obviously they haven't been evaluated if this is new, but if they would be used in place of those, or if because they're specific to robotics, they'd have to take the course there. Like statics and dynamics, basically. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So there will be some transitions, especially for some of the newer students starting in our program. We want to be as transfer friendly as possible, and just even from community college to our program, but also for our current students. So I will say all courses are being will be evaluated. So if they are if they are similar, then we would accept that course to meet that requirement.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, why don't we hang on to Sheena, if you don't mind, your question till the end. And everybody else, while Dr. Jordan's speaking, then please feel free to get them in there before you forget any of your questions, and then we'll open it up for everybody and get everything answered before we sign off. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kathy. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Sean Jordan, and I'm the interim director of the brand new School of Integrated Engineering that is at ASU's West Valley campus out in Glendale. And this is Fulton Schools of Engineering's newest school, inspired not only by the fact that the West Valley currently does not have a lot of options for engineering education, but also the fact that there are about $60 billion being invested by high-tech companies, particularly in semiconductors, but also all of the support companies associated with semiconductors for Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation. And all of those companies are going to need tech workers in order to support their operations moving forward. This school is, the goal of it is to create unique and innovative degree pathways in business, technology, sciences, but ultimately create multidisciplinary engineers who can solve complex problems and design really impactful societal futures with using engineering approaches. And so this is all centered in the West Valley community, but of course it is open to students all over the world, and we welcome all of those students. And these programs are grounded in this idea of engineering plus fill in the blank. So we are creating, and we've got two new concentrations launching this fall. These are BS and engineering science programs that have a concentration in something else. And so what this is just the beginning. We have a number of additional bachelor's as well as master's programs and a minor that are all on track for future years. But if we could flip slides to the next one. But our two launching programs are a business engineering concentration. And so this is an intersection between engineering and business that gives students an understanding of engineering design and different approaches to design, but then also gets them a solid background in accounting, finance, management, marketing, supply chain management, all of those key elements of business that are so integral to getting products to market. In the microelectronics concentration, the goal of that program is to prepare our graduates for integration into the microelectronics industry that is growing in our Silicon Desert of Phoenix, Arizona, that already has several huge companies that do microelectronics, including Intel and Microchip and On Semiconductor, and is growing even more with TSMC opening up soon. So our first concentration is the business engineering concentration. And here we're looking for a wide variety of students, some that you may see as, oh, these are traditional folks that would consider engineering, but also some folks who have a variety of different skills and talents and interests that may or may not choose engineering otherwise, but we hope to support them in our program. Innovative problem solvers are one of our target audiences, and those are folks who are interested in deepening their technical experience and ultimately designing real-world solutions. All of our entire degree is heavily project-based and hands-on and grounded in industry settings and internships, as I'll talk a little bit more about. And so we really cater to students who come in with that problem-solving approach. We're also particularly interested in working with STEM plus fill-in-the-blank students. So I was one of these students. I was always very good at engineering and tinkering and building things in my garage. But I also am very artistic and had as a musician. And I, throughout my undergraduate and even my graduate engineering education, I felt like I had these two different sides of myself, where I've got my creative self that's completely separate from my engineering self. And this program is designed to support people that have multiple identities and want to bring those all to the table and leverage them uniquely to solve problems in ways that maybe others cannot. We're also particularly interested in working with technical career changers who might be ready to level up into high-tech jobs or advance in their current careers, folks that are in the process of making a change. And this program is really well designed and framed for those students. And then finally, future business leaders, and that could be entrepreneurs or folks that are going into managerial tracks within larger companies that are excited about tech and want to lead groups to design the future of society. Some distinguishing characteristics of this engineering science business degree are, first of all, and this is true for all of the programs within School of Integrated Engineering, is that we have more accessible mathematics pathways. So we are a pre-calculus and statistics-based program. Calculus is not a requirement for any of the programs at this point in time within School of Integrated Engineering. And you might think, well, wait, hold on. You've got to be good at calculus and in order to be an engineer, right? And if you talk to practicing engineers, the answer is actually it depends. It depends on what area of engineering you're going into, what kind of job you're going into. But there are many, many engineers and companies that are perfectly happy to work with folks in who are not calculus whizzes and those students can be absolutely successful in engineering pathways. And so that's one of our key distinguishing characteristics that we're targeting. As such, our physics sequence is a non-calculus-based physics as well. And then similar to the Polytechnic school, which is, I guess, another school of another school of engineering on the Polytechnic campus alongside School of Manufacturing Engineering, we have an 8-semester project spine that has learning pathways built into it. So those fall into things like ideation techniques, so learning about futures thinking and brainstorming and need finding approaches. Many different approaches to design. That could be you're designing products or processes or getting into community-based participatory design. Modeling and simulation of possible solutions, so that way you can test them digitally before you go into prototyping them. And similar to School of Manufacturing Systems and Networks, we are a makerspace-based program that students are not only learning about engineering and simulating designs, but they are doing engineering through building prototypes and testing those in the real world. There's also an element of, or a learning thread in our program of engineering storytelling. And so that could be product pitches or impact stories or personal stories. This is all grounded in the idea that if you can't communicate the value of what you've done, how it impacts a particular audience, and probably how it impacts you as well, then you're leaving it up to others to decide or to discover the value in what it is that you've done. And so we want to make sure our students are well equipped to tell their stories of their degrees and their projects in a variety of different ways. And then finally, there's a learning pathway of impact, and that could be ethical impact or ecological environmental impact, sociocultural, ... There are many different ways to look at impact, and that it affects the engineering design process. This program also has embedded internships between the sophomore and junior year and the junior and senior year, and that's something that we help support students to find. And there also will hopefully be an international option as well for students who might want to go and study abroad in a summer context to count for one of those internships, and they get credit for those internships as well. And then finally, business principles. There's 33 credits, as I mentioned, of accounting, finance, management, marketing, supply chain management. Also, to clarify here, this is not a case of engineering suddenly becoming experts in business, but this degree program is in partnership with the W.P. Carey School of Business. So they are teaching those 33 credits of the business classes, and we're focusing on our core expertise of engineering. For our other program, which is microelectronics engineering, so here we're looking for local community members who are wanting to study and work in the chip industry close to home and close to family. The Glendale, Arizona area is one of the fastest growing regions of Phoenix, and but in terms of population, but it's also one of the fastest growing areas of Phoenix in terms of the need for tech workers. And so we're looking for folks that want to stay close to home and be able to take advantage of those future work opportunities. Engineering enthusiasts who enjoy tinkering and want to explore engineering as a career path. Again, tinkering is a totally valid direction. You don't sometimes they say, if you're good at math and science, then you should become an engineer. And if you're good at math and science, you can absolutely become a successful engineer. But you can also be good at tinkering and hands-on and figuring out problems and become an engineer within the School of Integrated Engineering. STEM community college grads who are on a mission to get a tech job while working their way through college. We definitely, and the way our courses are structured, we are designed for people who are just going full-time, but also people who are working professionals and with families and are wanting to level up in their education as they're pursuing many different aspects of life at the same time. And then finally, similar to the other one, technical career changers who are wanting to level up. This degree, the number one distinguishing characteristic of it is that it is a more rapid pathway to the microelectronics workforce. So my background is electrical and computer engineering, and bachelor's in electrical engineering in general, including ASU, but in general across many institutions, tends to be a very theoretical degree that is not specialized in what the microelectronics industry needs in order to be effective on day one. And so typically, if you're wanting to get into more advanced areas of microelectronics, then you need a minimum of a master's degree on top of that bachelor's degree to be able to specialize. This degree program was designed with the idea of taking courses from a bachelor's in electrical engineering and a master's in electrical engineering, pulling out the courses that are specifically related to the microelectronics industry, and then putting those into a 4-year pathway. So that way students are getting a bachelor's in 4 years that has them ready to go into the microelectronics field. This also has a more accessible math pathway, so it's got pre-calc and statistics. Statistics in particular is very, very important for the microelectronics industry, as a lot of what you're ultimately trying to do is figure out process yields and make sure that you're maximizing the throughput of your semiconductor assembly lines. Non-calc-based physics courses, similar to the other one. There are projects, but the projects look a little bit different. So we have engineering projects and community service courses built in. And then broadly, this program has a full integrated circuit design process that includes functional design and logic design and circuit design and verification, so that regardless of where students might land in the overall microelectronics design cycle, they'll be able to jump in and have some familiarity to start working. This degree also has some integrated business principles. You'll notice here it's 21 credits instead of 33. And the reason for that is if you watch the semiconductor industry over time, every 5 to 10 years, there are market forces drastically impact where the investments are. And that is, and different business segments grow and contract and so on. And so we want to make sure that our students coming out of this program are well positioned to understand those business forces and be able to move towards, say, managerial roles and helping support the business side as well. And then in addition to all the great resources that Sammy mentioned, such as the Career Center and broadly the Fulton Difference that is built into Fulton Schools of Engineering, all of the extracurricular activities and such, we have that as well. That's across all of the engineering schools. We also have some additional structures. So we have faculty to support students, both tenure and tenure track faculty to support the instruction, as well as they've got their own research agendas and are happy to have students work with them in lab settings, similar to what Sammy was describing earlier. And then we also have teaching faculty to support instruction and also help support some of the Fulton Difference activities. There's student support of two of our intro courses, so FSE 100 and ASU 101. And so as part of that, we've got advising staff to provide student services, EPICS, which I mentioned earlier, Fulton Undergraduate Research Initiative, Grand Challenge Scholars Program, clubs, student organizations, all of those are coordinated by staff. So students can have a rich life, not only in the classroom, but beyond the classroom. There are peer mentoring programs. And then one that I particularly have appreciated being at ASU for over a decade is the undergraduate teaching assistant program. And this is an opportunity for upper class students to go back and be 5-hour-a-week teaching assistants within classes that they've taken already. And that's not a really amazing opportunity, not only to give back, but also to solidify learning for the students who are currently taking the class, as well as for the students who are UGTAing. And it also gives them a nice way to differentiate themselves on their resumes. And then finally, we've got the full gamut. So the ASU's West Valley campus is fully established. It's been functioning just without engineering for decades. And so there are Dean of Students and Health Services and multiple dorms, including a new dorm that they're opening up, I believe, in 2025, and library, tutoring, career services. There's a beautiful fitness center. It's a full-fledged campus with all of the resources that are available on other campuses. So with that, I will hand it back to Kathy. Thank you.
Thanks so much. All right. Well, I know my head's spinning with all that information, but I know all of you advisors are used to juggling all the info. And thank you so much, because that's really helpful to know about the new programs. And I think it's going to be really exciting as we see students getting into those new programs with all of the changes in the local economy and the opportunities for them. So we hope that you're also using My Path to ASU and you're helping your students use it so that they know exactly what to take, so that that's not the hard part of their major. They can focus on their classes and not be wondering what they need to take. So I wanted to share the benefits of My Path to ASU. If you're not already familiar with that, My Path to ASU is a great transfer tool that we offer here at ASU that saves time and money for students overall in their education, because first of all, they're starting with you at the community college, taking everything they can with you, hopefully getting an associate's degree. I know that's a little tricky sometimes with engineering majors, but we know that you have those conversations with them about their individual educational and career goals, and that you'll help them make the choice that's right for them. But we do want them to maximize what they can take from you and transfer with as much credit as possible that will be applicable, of course, to their major. And when they come over as a junior, they are ready to just keep on going with that upper division coursework. So they follow a customized course by course and term by term pathway on My Path to ASU, so that minimizes any potential loss of credit overall. They can track their progress along the way using My Transfer Guide, what's called My Transfer Guide. And then they receive personalized communications from us. And when they sign up for My Path, we know when they plan to transfer. We ask them that question so we can customize those communications to be what they need and when they need it. We're not trying to get them to apply as soon as possible. We're trying to inform them and help them feel supported and connected to ASU along the way while they're still with you. And they have access, of course, to talk to their ASU transfer admissions coordinators who go out to some of your campuses, and then also, of course, online or here on campus. And then they also get guaranteed admissions into the program of their choice when they meet all of those, the admission requirements that are on the pathway. So the additional requirements for engineering majors, or for, I should say, most engineering majors, are on those pathways. So it's a nice centralized resource to use along with their community college resources like their associate's degree checklist and anything else that you provide them, so that they can check that information against each other, know which questions to ask you, and feel assured that they're taking what they need to take. And if you haven't had a chance to look at My Path to ASU, I want to make sure to share this video so you can see how easy it is to look up requirements. So we'll start this. I'm sure some of you say, I use that 50 times a day already. You don't need to show me again, but thanks for bearing with me. It's always nice to see some new people at these webinars, and we want to make sure that everybody has that information. We also want to point out that sometimes we get the question, can international students sign up for My Path to ASU? And the answer is absolutely. Their academic journey is the same as any other student, and so we want to make sure that you're encouraging those students as well to go ahead and sign up for My Path to ASU. If they change their major, they can sign up for a new pathway, so that's no problem. If they decide to even transfer somewhere else, it's no problem. So we just want to make sure that if they're even considering ASU, that they have all the tools at their disposal. And this is the main kind of entry point into My Path to ASU. So students from any community college and advisors and counselors and faculty and so on can use this page. So this is the link that I just put in the chat, asu.edu/mypath-to-ASU. And these two buttons here on the left, get started with My Path to ASU, is the actual way to get into the sign up. And then search My Path to ASU majors, of course, is what we just looked at. And so that's great for advisors to be able to look up requirements quickly without having to sign up for an account, just to be able to access the information. And when you press get or click on get started, it will ask you which community college you're attending, so your students are attending. So when they indicate that with Maricopa Community Colleges, it'll take them into the Maricopa system to sign up. And with everybody else, all of our other partners and anybody who's going somewhere we're not even partners with, those students will sign up through another process and on our website. And Maricopa Community Colleges does have a little extra page here, a landing page of their own on our admissions site. And so it also has those buttons that I just talked about. The wording's a little bit different, but it takes you to the same place. And those 4 steps on the right are the steps for them to follow, which are a little bit different than our other partners in Arizona and out of state. So we're going to go into questions. We do have some questions in the chat, and I'm going to give the presenters a little time to be looking at those questions and seeing which ones they can answer. And if anything needs to be researched and looked up, we'll be happy to follow up with you. We should probably read those questions aloud just for the purposes of the recording. And I wanted to share this link. I did already in the chat, but it'll be in the deck that's posted afterwards as well. You could share it with colleagues who weren't able to make it today. We also want to know which colleges and schools at ASU you'd like to hear from in next year's College Connections series, because this is the last one of this school year. So please feel free to email me if you have some ideas or questions or any questions at all. And now I'll turn it back to the presenters for Q&A. And I'll stop sharing the screen so we can see you guys.
Hey, Sean, I was I was wondering if you wanted to answer the difference between the BS and the BSE. Just the differences between the degree.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes. Sammy, is your degree a BSE?
We are both of ours are BS. So I think all of yours are only BS, correct?
Yeah, mine are only BS as well. So yeah, because to my knowledge, I mean, I don't know that we have BSEs at Fulton Engineering. BS and BSE are functionally equivalent from a career pathway perspective. ASU chose to, I believe, at least in the degrees within the Polytechnic school and within School of Integrated Engineering, they're all BS degrees. And so functionally, employers look at them as being the same. So I don't think there's a meaningful distinction there.
I would like to know, so I do know that the Polytechnic school does have an engineering BSE with a couple different concentrations. But as Dr. Jordan had mentioned, those programs, it's not so much that the BSE holds a different weight than the BS designation. I think it shows between all of our programs that they're very like content heavy and you're going to get a lot out of it. So I don't think students will have any issues as long as they're, expanding on their experiences and really, joining clubs and being present in their academic journey. I don't see any students having a struggle between finding a job between a BS and a BSE. And I know a couple other questions have been answered already in the chat. Kathy, do we still read those out loud?
Yeah, I think it'd probably be good to share those for anybody who's joining us on the recorded version later. But I also wanted to throw in Annalise from ASU said electrical engineering at Tempe offers a BSE, as do most Tempe Fulton majors. We are ABET accredited while we were still on that topic. And then I don't see anything else on that BSE, BS topic. So I know Shayna wanted to know about requirement details for students coming in with a GED. And we do have some folks on here from admissions, but I know it's transfer admissions, not Fulton admissions, unless there's somebody I don't know who can answer that. But if there's somebody who knows the answer from ASU, please feel free to help us out here.
Yeah, I was going to pick on Adam to hopefully answer that question for us.
In addition to that question, Sarah asked if there is there an 8-semester engineering project? Oh, sorry, if there is one, like you mentioned, Dr. Jordan, does that mean transfer students will be at ASU for 8 semesters?
Yeah, and in general, our programs are designed to be very transfer friendly. In particular, the project courses in the first 2 years don't have prerequisites, so theoretically they could be taken side by side. We're also open to, and I know equivalents to like FSE 100 and such are starting to become the norm in a lot of community college settings, and so we can explore transferring those in. And given the size of our school, we have a fair amount of agility to be able to look at creative solutions to that problem. Because I know, having been in the Polytechnic school for a long time, that's one of the transfer problems. And so I'm happy to explore that on our end so that we can be even more transfer friendly.
Great, thank you. And then I know Sam had a question that referenced the 8-semester sequence as well. The engineering science with business concentration, my path to ASU reflects overlapping equivalencies between FSE 100 and FSE 104 for Phoenix College / Maricopa. What would be the correct guidance? Adding to Sarah's question about the 8-semester sequence, engineering project, if this is true, can a note be added about the length to my path to ASU? And I know we have at least one person from ATCS on here, and I can connect with her as well. afterwards to see if that's, and I'm making a note, Sam, so that we can follow up with you about a note on that pathway. What would be the correct guidance for the overlapping equivalencies between FSE 100 and FSE 104? Do our presenters know that, or is that more of an academic transfer credit solutions question?
I think that's one we're going to need to research, and then we will
Yeah.
absolutely update my Pat to ASU with a note.
Super.
Yes, I
Thank
second
you.
what Dr. Ford said.
Thank you. And then Annalise also asked, will West Campus Fulton students be eligible for the NAMU or NAMU? I'm not sure what it stands for, scholarships, but remember seeing that there were scholarships available. So,
yeah, and Adam Henry from our dean's office replied, absolutely, yes, students are
great.
eligible for those. And there's also additional scholarship money available for West Valley campus students.
Thank you.
And Adam Henry also included the information about earning the GED requirements as well. So he has added that in for Shayna, I believe.
Great, thank you.
Are there any other questions that we may have missed? Oh, it looks like Adam's answering some of our ABET accreditation.
And the question about, will we be sent a copy of the recording? If you want to email me and you want a copy, I would be happy to send you one. So Gail, I can send you one for sure. And if anybody else wants one, please let me know. Otherwise, it will be posted on the Academic Alliance's website, which again is right here if you want to copy and paste. And for those of you on the recording, you're already there.
I would just like to also say as well, just I know as that we're wrapping up. Again, we're really excited about both of our programs and both of our schools. This is a really huge step just for ASU as well as the Fulton Engineering schools. So we just encourage that if there's any student that is interested or just wants to learn a little bit more, because these are newer type of programs, so there will be more questions. Please feel free to direct them either to our recruitment team, which is spearheaded by Adam Henry, and we can put that email in the chat as well. But please have them reach out if specifically for our school, the Manufacturing Systems and Networks, if you have any student that wants to have a tour of the Polytechnic campus, please feel free to reach out to us because we would love to coordinate. And we love always having more students on campus. You know, during summer, it gets a little bit slow. So now's the time to kind of come out, see the opportunities that we have. But it is a little hot, you know, so kind of keep that in mind. But we still would love to see you out here.
And for those of you who are on the recording, Fulton Schools at asu.edu for any and all questions. That's a great place to start. Thanks, Adam. Dr. Jordan, any last words from you before we wrap up?
No, just want to thank everyone. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, as Adam mentioned, to Fulton Schools at asu.edu, and we're happy to answer. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, everybody. We appreciate all you do with transfer students. We're happy to be partnering with you, and we'll see you next time.